Hi there, my name's Matt, and welcome to Dwarf Fortress. This is the second episode of my tutorial Let's Play, and I'm going to be covering the basic bare essentials of getting a working surviving fort in order. So last episode we covered Lazy New Pack and the various settings, and then we embarked carefully for our journey and gave our dwarves their skills and also the equipment they'll be using for their journey. And since then I've had a quick look around the environment. The location seems to be a series of quite large plains, which is going to be nice for building if I do decide to build anything outdoors. We've got lots of trees, lots of plants. No trees in this particular area, but we knew that. That's what we checked out earlier. And we've also got plenty of soil, which actually is sand. There you can see by pressing K, you can see anything that's visible on that Z level. So for example, we've just got some gems here. One of these ones. Red spinel. And we've got a few more jewels here actually. Let's have a quick look. Pin fire opal. That's interesting. Okay, so when thinking about the layout of your fort, there's generally two ways you can go. You can either have a long fort with everything laid out along one Z level, which actually would be underground, so everything laid out along one Z level, or you can have a fort where everything is kind of set along a central column which just goes directly downwards into the earth. You can have a combination of either one, but they're not as efficient when it comes to pathing of the dwarves, and I'll talk a bit more about pathing later. But for now, we are just looking to start a very basic, very sustainable working fortress. And the first thing we're going to need is to hollow out a living area for ourselves. And I actually think this square will be quite nice for that. Let's get a bit further over. You can select a hotkeyed location by pressing Shift H, and then select the hotkey, whichever one you want it as. For F1, 2, 3, 4, you can actually select up to 16 as you can see there, and then Z to confirm it. So there we go, now you can see it's a little bit further over because I intend to use I'll use a bit more of the area over this side. So if you press D to get into designations, if you are outdoors it will first of all ask for chopped down trees. However, if you are underground, pressing D will default to mining, and that's what we want to do, is mine. So press D to mine, and then D again if it's not already on mining, and we'll need to select an area here. So let's have a think. I wanted to use this area because it's close to the borderline between two biomes, and as you can see on the one side we have soil or sand, and on the other we have rock. So I intend to tunnel into the actual rock face and then utilise the sand for a farming area off to the one side. Okay, and I think this little bit here will be quite a nice natural area to do so in. First thing I'm going to do is designate designate a nice square flat area as an entrance, and to do so I'm going to take out that small section there, and I'm also going to remove the upwards ramps which are all around it by pressing Z. Has that worked? There we go, so all of those upward ramps will now be removed as well, leaving just a flat rock wall. And now if we press space to unpause the game, our dwarves should busy themselves with that. And there we go, you can see two miners doing that work. I'll just pause pause that again, that was very quick. Now, let's designate a couple more bits. Let's designate, first of all, a main entrance, and then some living quarters. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So that one there is, oops, we need to have it on D for mine. There we are. And that's a nice 5x5 entrance room from which other things will branch off. In actual fact, looking at it, I don't want that there. I've changed my mind. So let's have it going into the side, and we'll have it going a little bit further. There we go, and now we'll have a 5x5 entrance room in this one location, so it's quite close to the border of the soil, which will be handy for agriculture in a little while. And there we go. Let's just designate a big section there, just so we can see exactly what's there. And we'll let the dwarfs get on with that. Now, we will also need to prepare for furnishing the rooms when we actually get them, and we can do so first of all by chopping down some trees. So we'll again press D for designate, and it's T to chop down trees, although if you are outdoors that will be automatically selected. And you just highlight an area, do a large area there for deforestation. And there we go, and you can see there the axe dwarf is chopping down the tree. And they'll need to have somewhere to store that wood, so we'll press P for stockpiles, W for a wood stockpile, and we'll just allocate a stockpile in the same way. There we go. And we should see any moment that the dwarfs will put the wood on the stockpile. Brilliant. Now let's just pause the game very quickly. I didn't want to dig so close to the tree roots. That could leave an enemy a way to get into my fort. That's a shame. I shouldn't have done that. But it's a risk we'll have to take. So we're going to now continue with our mining designation, and we'll first of all designate just a living area for our dwarves, just temporarily, just while they get themselves settled. So again, it's D for mine, and D again if you're not on mine underground. There we are, and I think we'll also set up a meeting hall for them. In actual fact, we'll call that the meeting hall, and we'll put the sleeping area just to the side of that. There we go. So, in preparation for the sleeping area, we're going to need to build some beds, and also a couple of doors might be helpful as well. So we'll need to set up a carpenter's workshop to make use of all the wood we've just chopped down. So to get to the build menu, it's B and then W for workshops, and a carpenter's workshop is the letter C, and we'll build that right next door to the wood pile. And it'll ask us to select an item to build it from. We'll say pecan wood logs, and our carpenter should build that fairly quickly. Where are our miners? What are our miners doing? They are storing items in the stockpile. So this is a perfect time to check Dwarf Therapist, which might well be showing that Dwarf Fortress has stopped running. If you click the icon in the top left hand corner, connect to Dwarf Fortress, there we have it. And you can see the top two there are our miners. Now, we don't want our miners getting tied up in boring, mundane hauling tasks, which are all over on the side here. So we just remove all of those and then commit those changes. And there we are. When we go back to Dwarf Fortress, our miners should no longer be hauling wood. Excellent. One of them's digging, the other one will start digging shortly. There we go. Now they're both digging. And it looks like our carpenter is also... oh no, nothing's happened yet. You press Q to get into a building menu, and from there you're able to select various options for the building and also allocate jobs to that. So as you can see, the carpenter's is actually finished, and I can press A to add a new task, and I'll be selecting beds, which is B. So add bed. I'll do that several times. There we go. Now it looks like our dwarves have hollowed out the first area. That was supposed to be the meeting area, wasn't it? So we'll need tables and chairs for that area, and also we'll need 3 doors, one of them for the fortress and a couple to just to be able to give our dwarves some privacy. Now let's see where we are with the Q button again. Oh, that's the wagon. So he's constructed a couple of beds, we'll just leave him to it. Looks like the miners have finished, so while the... oh, we've got some pigs over there. Whether should I try to attack them, I wonder? You can press V to view a unit and then just narrow in on the... it's a wild boar. So we do have a hunter. Let's have a quick look at Dwarf Therapist. Let's see who our hunter is. Click on the military tab of Dwarf Therapist and you're able to see who has weapon skills. And just one guy. Did we not give someone crossbow dwarf skill? Oh, we did. Marks dwarf is over here. There we go. So Rakust Omilsknug seems to be the Marks dwarf. I think we'll give him a nickname. We'll call him Mark, the Marks dwarf. And we'll just commit that change. There we go. So now he'll have that name in Dwarf Fortress. We will go back to the labours screen and just see if he has hunting enabled, which he does. And what other labours does he have enabled? Butchery and tannery, excellent. And we'll get rid of most of the haulings, but he does need food hauling, and we'll say animal hauling just in case. And is there something there about corpses or carcasses? There we go, just to make sure that he will actually haul the animals he kills. I think that should be quite safe. So we'll commit those changes and then go back to Dwarf Fortress, and hopefully he should attack those wild boar. Oh, that's reminded me, as he will be a huntsman, we should allocate him the hunting dog which we brought with us. So that would be U to view the unit, Z to zoom in, and you can see all of his information there, such as his inventory, whether he's wounded, and the preferences under P allow you to allocate a work animal, which is under E for echo. And there we go, stray hunting dog. We'll press enter. The animal has now been allocated to the hunter, and fingers crossed in a second or two we should see that taking effect. Well, he still has no job. Did we bring a crossbow? I think I might have forgotten a crossbow. We'll make one very shortly. Now, we'll just very quickly check in on our carpenter, who has a few spots left. So we'll add 3 doors and a couple of tables there for him to keep busy with. And then we'll place some of the beds which he's previously created. So it's B to build, and then B again for a bed, and we'll just pop those down in the sleeping area, which I dug out just a second ago. There we are. So the dwarves should haul those over. That was quite quick. And we'll select the bed by going into the Q menu and just hovering over it, and I'll hover over the most distant one, and I'll press R to turn that into a bedroom, and then the plus button just to resize it to cover the whole room, and then enter when you're done, and then I'll press D to turn that into a dormitory. There we go. So that means any dwarf who is tired will sleep in the dormitory without preference of bed, and it will save them from sleeping on the dirt or on the floor, wherever they fall when they're tired, and making them unhappy. Now I suppose we better think about farming, so that will be designating out some farming area within the soil patch. So I like to do large areas. I should explain. The arrow keys move the target, but if you hold down shift, you do a much larger area. Now, oh, I've actually done that wrong. There we go. I like to have diagonal entrances going into my farming land in case of miasma, in case something dies or in case something goes rotten in a certain area. Miasma can cripple a fort, but it can't travel diagonally. So if you have a diagonal entrance such as this, your dwarves will be able to make it through there, but the miasma will not, and that will save many a fort, I'm sure. Let's make this one a little bit further out to avoid those tree roots. There we go. So that's our agricultural land. We might make some more at a later date, but that should be fine for the moment. And let's just let our dwarves get on with that. Okay, so our dwarves have nearly finished digging out the farming land, and oh, it looks like I have cornered onto a couple of tree roots there. I'll have to watch that. Okay then, we'll now be very quickly just giving our carpenter a couple more things to make. Here he is up there. Just a couple more tables and some chairs. And then we'll be building some farming plots to keep our dwarves happy. So that's B, and then P for a farm plot. Now these have to be on a soil square, so that could be soil, clay, loam, sand. You'll know if it's correct because the X's will be green, and if there are any odd spots here and there which are in red, then that doesn't matter. The ones which can be farming spots will be. I generally like to do 4 5x5 plots in each large square. There we go. And if we unpause the game, some of our dwarfs should head over there to sort that out. There they go. Since we're setting up the farming land, we should set up the refuse pile as well. So that's P for stockpiles. Just keeps things tidy to do this now. Where are we? Should we place it? Actually, there are no trees on this other side here, are there? So let's place it right. Oh no, actually, I was going to do a lookout area there, so possibly in the other corner after all. Yeah, that seems fine. So again, we'll just place the stockpile, the refuse stockpile, and I think we'll put a corpse stockpile next to it, just in case anyone dies before we can get a graveyard going. And we'll put those quite far out of the way so that the dwarves don't get bad thoughts by seeing either some filthy rubbish or by seeing a dead relative. And there we go. So it's quite hard to tell, but it looks like those dwarves have finished those farm plots. Yes, they have. So we can now select what to grow in them using the Q menu. So that's Q, and then hover over the farm land, and then it's A, B, C or D to select which particular crop you'll be growing in any one season. So for spring we'll grow plum helmets. For summer we'll grow plum helmets. For autumn we'll grow plum helmets, and for winter plum helmets. There we go. And for this one, well, why not dimple cups? Dimple cups. Dimple cups. Dimple cups. Quarry bushes. Pigtails. Cave wheat. Dimple cups. Quarry bushes, cave wheat, pigtails, and plum helmets again. There we go. So now we have all of the fields showing all of the crops they'll be growing in each season, and that should keep our dwarves very happy for some time. They will of course need somewhere to store that, and for now we'll just do a very quick food storage pile, which they'll be able to access from their rest area. So we'll just designate that. Oops. There we go. And while we're here, we'll just build the table and chairs which we selected earlier. So that's a table, that's a table, that's a table, that's a table, and then, oh, well, we've only got two at the moment. We'll give the carpenter some time. And while our food is growing in our oh, actually it's growing already. Let's have a quick look. Yep, there we go. That's a fertilised farm plot. While that's preparing, we'll also designate some plants to be gathered. So that's D and then P, and I'll just designate the area which is quite close to ourselves. There we go. We'll just get a good large area, and you can see all of those plants there have been designated for collection. Now let's build some doors. Actually, we were going to have some doors separating things out, weren't we? Yeah, should keep the dwarves a bit happy. And I think we'll also need a few barrels. So let's go back to the carpenters, add a task, and then V for barrel. because they are going to come in very handy when we start storing our food. Let's make that food stockpile, so that's P, and then F for food, and it was just down here. There we are. And the dwarves should automatically start carrying food over from the caravan to the food stockpile. And let's see if he's built those chairs yet. He's built at least one. There we go, so a few more chairs just to make the place a bit more homey and to give our dwarves somewhere to sit and carouse. And if you press U, you can see exactly who's doing what. So we have a miner who's asleep, one who's lazing around doing nothing, we'll sort that out in a minute. Someone's making a barrel, excellent. Someone's having a drink, classic dwarven behaviour. And a few people are doing some various mundane activities. Now we're going to need to designate the meeting hall, which we'll do using the Q menu. And here we are, we need to move this down to one of the tables and then create a room using R, and it's already at the right size. There we go. If you then press H, you'll see in the top right hand corner meeting hall has gone to yes. So our dwarves will now congregate in this area. They'll take their meals here, they'll socialise with their friends, and it's generally a good thing for them to have. There is another way to designate a meeting hall, and that is as a zone, which is I, and then designate the zone in the same way, which you normally would. You can see there you can select all of the various activities, and it's N for November there for meeting area. Oh no, it's not. It is M. Yeah, I thought it might be. M for Mike for meeting area, and we'll have that designated as a meeting area both ways because that can't hurt. I think what we should actually do is designate another meeting area which has some water in it. So let's see, that's I, and we'll just highlight this area here which has some water. We'll say M for meeting, just so our barnyard animals occasionally get down there, and W also for water source, so our dwarves will know where to go for water if strictly necessary, if they ever run out of booze, which I'm hoping will never happen. That'll be like an apocalypse nightmare situation for our dwarves. And you can see there's one guy there who's fallen asleep. If you press V to view a certain, he's fallen asleep on the floor. That's our Mark's dwarf. So let's get a closer look at him and see if we can find out why. So it's a Z and then enter for his thoughts and preferences. Well, he's annoyed after sleeping on a cave floor, but he didn't have to. He had a dormitory. Oh, there's no goblets, cups or mugs. No dining table. We've sorted out the dining table issue. He'll be fine. Oh, and he's in love. He's got a new romance. Well, that might actually explain why he's passed out in the food stock room. That might be a post-coital thing. So we won't look into that any further. Right now I think we have everything which we need for a functioning fort. Just us, which will keep us going pretty much like clockwork, autonomously, while we consider the greater things which the dwarves have to deal with. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.